What's up, guys? It's Benny. You have to see what is happening in Minneapolis as a show of force by the communist left. This isn't something that's happening in any other city in America. It's not something that's inspiring big anti-ICE marches anywhere else in the country. They have zeroed in on Minneapolis. It is a disturbance. It is an op that is being played out in front of us that is meant to take a single city, to show how powerful they are in a single place, to show that there is no law and order left. And if they can take over a single city, then they can inspire that perhaps to cascade into others. As of right now, this is the left's last stand. The left thought they had won in culture, and quite frankly, I think that they had really done a great job of taking over every institution in America. Now that they have seen their power diminish, decay, and be in jeopardy, they are staging a deadly last stand in Minneapolis. And James O'Keefe just learned that. Look at this. You can see a new Chaz chop that is being created in an autonomous zone 2.0 that they are building out, where they're stating this is our city. Law enforcement will not be allowed to come here. We exist outside of American law. This is something that J.D. Vance has said, by the way. This level of engineered chaos is unique to Minneapolis. You know, Minneapolis has very, very low ICE enforcement and engagement and deportations in comparison to many other big American cities. Large American cities like Phoenix, Los Angeles, New York, cities in Florida, cities in Texas see enormous amounts of ICE activity. It is actually, Minneapolis is de minimis. Yet this is where all of the chaos and horror and murder is happening. What I mean by that is attempted murder of federal agents. And so J.D. Vance is calling it out, saying this is a direct consequence of far-left agitators working with local authorities. J.D. Vance understands the assignment. When I visited Minnesota, what ICE agents wanted more than anything is to work with local law enforcement so the situations on the ground don't get out of hand. Local leadership in Minnesota has refused to answer. They have refused to answer. And obviously, you had another death yesterday. We're lucky that James O'Keefe is alive, quite frankly. He is in Minnesota. Every left-wing paid agitator in the world, seemingly, is in Minnesota right now, and they are coming for James O'Keefe. Check this out. Minneapolis mob threatens to kill O'Keefe, ice bottles thrown, followed, and O'Keefe's media group under attack. My team and I are in downtown Minneapolis right now. We still have undercover reporters inside of the mob. I was at the scene of the shooting this morning and barely made it out alive. Hundreds surrounded us. They were throwing ice bottles, ripping off bulletproof vests. They followed us all the way back to our hotel. All of this was happening. We received death threats via text. Let's go ahead and look at this text. Look at this. We know that you're in Minneapolis. You're with O'Keefe and his Nazis. You're in the white Ford license plate. This is the license plate from Florida. You have 1 hour to leave or you're dead. Look at that. How are they getting license plate readers? This must actually be a full-scale coordinated attack and attempt at James O'Keefe's life with law enforcement assistance. That's what's been wild over the last couple of revelations about this. We're going to be covering this all day. That there's clearly law enforcement assisting in the attacks on journalists and on federal authorities. You are witnessing a wholesale, total insurrection here. The tools of the state in Minnesota being used against the federal government. It is a total and complete confederacy there. They are behaving outside of American law. And Tim Walz demanding that Donald Trump remove federal forces from his state yesterday. This is what's been going on, and it's happening at scale. Here we go. Let's go ahead and listen to and read a little bit more of what James O'Keefe experienced yesterday. This is a wild post. It's gone thermonuclear viral. It's 31,000 repost, 85,000 likes, 3 million views for a reason. Let's go ahead and listen here, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll play you some of James's videos. I've never experienced anything quite like today in my life. I've interacted with cartels, and I've witnessed some crazy things in the desert in 24. I don't even know what he's talking about there, but that's interesting. What strikes me about how organized These agitators are in Minneapolis. They have spotters everywhere in the city and in the suburbs, on street corners, even 30 minutes away from downtown. They have people at hotels that work with them to signal to them, which making it difficult for us to lose our tail, which was when our cover was blown. James O'Keefe posting here that they had a tail all day. Yesterday in Minneapolis, I was driving around. I was followed by multiple vehicles over an hour. We were told that we came up on a local ICE watch group's ICE database. You can hear us confirm multiple times that we are not ICE. At one point, they asked for our IDs to see who we were. Insane network they have running here. Look at this. So here they're getting followed around Minneapolis because of these group chats that are meant to track ICE. And look at this. It's like a paramilitary group that's showing up, hunting them, demanding their IDs. Is that wild? Anyway, let's go ahead and continue here from James. They have people at hotels that work with them, signal them, which make it difficult for us to lose our tail. Usually I lose a tail, not this time. We switched locations 3 times. I recorded and posted while I was leaving the autonomous zone while they were still surveilling. We all agreed we must make the threats public as soon as possible, even if we had people still in the field with hidden cameras. Listen to this gets crazy. Earlier around noon, while Cam Higbee releases a report on the signal threads, we'll cover that, I was inside what appeared to be a fully autonomous zone. No police presence. The police were told to leave. I identified myself as the press, and they said they will kill press if we did not leave. My skin was fully covered because it was so cold, but because I couldn't verify who I was, they screamed and started throwing ice bottles at us. One hit my bodyguard, Marine at the time, they patted my bodyguard down like they were the authorities, attempting to confiscate any weapons. And they were set to destroy our vehicle before we even got into it. I will have a full video shortly. But the bigger picture here, and more important, is I am angry. Not at the agitators. I find myself angry at the people who don't understand what they're dealing with. It's like a simulation out in the suburbs. I believe the American people need to wake up. The moment we've been warning about, we're headed for. Fear pushes people to care only about their money and families. I get it. But fear turns inward. Self-preservation and greed replace moral courage. Evil ignored. Ironically and incredibly, I see that these communists do not fear death in the same way that many good people do. The only thing that these communists fear is exposure itself. Good news, because we're about to bring exposure. I'm deadly serious about investigating the prosecutors themselves, and I don't hold these Minnesota's fraudsters, violent mobsters accountable for what they're doing. Stay tuned for more videos, says James. Okay. Wild stuff. I've attended many different forms of leftist protests. O'Keefe is exactly right. The anti-ICE protesters are the most vicious, and they assaulted at one in Denver earlier today. This is who we're dealing with in Minneapolis. Wow, says Elon Musk. These death threats, they're able to track the vehicles. That means that they are empowered by the state of Minnesota with vehicle tracking technology that you can only find like inside of a police department. You know, the bodyguard, James, I'm in. Hit me up. So this is what we've been calling the Insurrection Act to be invoked. Left wing is out for blood. Ruthless streets in Minneapolis. I just don't think that you understand the level to which they are using state resources now to track down and hunt ICE and to hunt independent journalists. The way to discern the good guys from the bad guys is malicious intent. This is malicious intent. When Antifa can track, tail, and threaten James O'Keefe into hiding, it's not a protest, it's organized terror. This is a violent Marxist organized attack. Local officials appear unconcerned and are potentially involved. Send in the National Guard, says Senator Mike Lee. As much as I don't want it for my family or friends, war is coming. We cannot exist peacefully with violent Marxists. There is no First Amendment in Minneapolis. They will hunt you down. Pray for James O'Keefe. All right. They've infiltrated the Signal chat in Minneapolis. Many names are being revealed right now. Many state officials very close with Tim Walz are being revealed. Are you surprised that this all goes back to Tim Walz? They know exactly what they're doing. Remember that guy that kept murdering Tim Walz's political enemies? Boy, it all starts to make sense now, doesn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, here's James O'Keefe's report from inside of Minneapolis. It's just a very short report explaining to you what happened to him and how he's never seen anything like it. Here you go.
This is James O'Keefe in downtown Minneapolis. We have a team of undercover reporters still inside the mob. I was at the scene of the shooting, covering it this morning, and basically we barely got out of there alive. There were a few hundred that surrounded us, started throwing ice bottles at us. A few hit us, hit our vehicle. They were starting to rip off my bulletproof vest, so we got out of there. We were followed, we were tailed, and here we are right now. We just got this message, and it says, we know that you're in Minneapolis. You're with O'Keefe and his crew of Nazis. You're in a white Ford license plate. They actually wrote the license plate down from Florida. You have 1 hour to leave or you're dead. You have 1 hour to leave or you're dead. We are going to produce our footage, gathering everything we've got from this weekend. We're going to put our report together along with the hidden camera footage that we have. We still have undercover people in the field. Please pray for my team's safety. This is worse than anything I could have possibly imagined. I have security with me, former Marine, and he said that it was worse than overseas, and it was certainly anything worse than I've seen the cartel at the border. We're going to contact law enforcement, DHS, and the FBI, and we're going to try to get out of here safely so we can bring the news to you. Stay tuned for our report coming Tuesday, 1 o'clock.